And welcome from Central Texas to Terrific Creations Studio. It is somewhere around 95, 96, and the humidity is high, so it's giving us a real feel of 111, something like that the last time I checked. I finally have some time to come back onto the studio because I had the cascade effect happen. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I had my shelving unit, one of my drawer units, break, a support piece break, and that cascaded into needing to do a tidy up in the studio because I had stuff all over the floor while I was replacing the drawer units. Now I have the drawer units replaced, and you can check that out on Instagram. I'll put that in the show notes. Now that that component is pretty much done and the studio floor is almost tidy, there are still things around because, you know, when you're in the middle of a tidy up, it's like, what do you keep? What do you let go of? So I finally had some time to come back in here and do some stitching. I'm going to do a little bit more stitching with rulers. I'm going to do a little bit of curved cross hatching, which is always a little bit fun. I'm using the Handi Quilter curved cross hatch template, so I will drop a picture. I will get a picture of this and drop it in. One of the reasons I asked for this because I wanted to try it out and see how it would work. And as I'm looking at it now, I'm seeing that right down the center there is a great line that would actually help me manage part of the curve. So I'm not going to stop what I'm doing right now, but I will change it up when I get to the next block because I want to kind of continue this in the next block. So I'm going to I'm going to get started stitching here, so I'm going to maneuver the camera and then I will check back with you a little bit later, so stay tuned. One thing that I'm doing here is I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. One thing that I'm doing is I'm looking to match the curve. I'm using the curve here of this to match up with the previous one, and I'm going about a ½ an inch out. So I'm doing a little back and forth stitching and pausing. On the top, I'm going over the seam allowance, and then we'll come back. Get that lined up. And I'm pausing here so that I can just readjust the template a little bit. Something feels tight. Hold on, I'm going to pause for a second. I'm back. What was happening is that the cord was getting stuck. I'm still trying to rearrange things in here. So I'm back stitch it line up. Readjust. gonna zoom in right here. I know it's a little challenging to see. I need to get my macro lens back on here. But so I went this way as I was coming over, and I realized that what I should have done is changed the angle to look something more like this. And so I will take on another section when I advance the quilt a little bit more. One of the things that I am loving about this quilt is that it is a memory quilt for me, and I'm going to show you, and it's probably going to make someone cry a little bit. This is, oops, oh, there we go. This is Happy Birthday, Your Son-in-Law, Rodney Theobald. This quilt is for my grandma, and well, it was for my grandma for her 90th birthday, and as life has happened, I haven't been able to get it done, so I'm in the middle of working on it now. So I'm going to move over into this block. I'm going to move over into here and continue playing with the curved crosshatch ruler, and I think I'm going to Okay, I'm back. I decided that for what I want to do, I would get the curved crosshatch, not the clamshell ruler, because there's also something else that I want to try. I just have to find a place on the quilt to do it. If you take Debbie Brown's, and watch the show notes for this, if you take Debbie Brown's quilting classes, she will have a ruler class up kind of soon. So I'm gonna, because of where I am, I'm gonna move the camera over just slightly and aim it down a little bit more so you can see where I am. I'm gonna try and get a real close up of, let's see, that's out. This is always fun. Alrighty. So in this one, I was able to actually do the curved crosshatch, and as soon as I am done filming for the day, I will get a close-up of this. In any new learning process, it always takes time. Come over here, and I'm gonna work from this end up, only because it'll show up better on camera. All right, and I'm gonna work with this, with the biggest part of the ruler, only because as I move up, I'll be able to go back and forth the way that I want to. So I'm going to start this right about here, and I'm using the center of the block, the center of the flying goose as the center line of my flying goose. Well, this could actually actually be a whole lot of fun. So I will also get a close-up of this. So essentially with this, what I was doing is using the center line, pairing it up with my goose block, and then just stitching the presser foot widths out, so about 1/4 of an inch. So if I can manage it, I will come over here and show you what I did. So give me a second to readjust. Alright, so I'm going to continue using the same clamshell. I'm going to line up the center line right there. And go a presser foot width out. And I'm going to keep this center line right straight along here. So as I'm looking, I'm moving the center line, and then I'm feeling for or looking for that previous line of stitching. So I'm keeping the arc the same. This actually, let me see if I can zoom in here for just a second. This actually makes a nifty little thing. And I could come back in here and go in the other direction, but I kind of like how this is going to look. So I'm going to move down into this next one, this next triangle, and see if I can manage to do it right in there. So hang tight for just a second. Okay, I should be able to do this without a problem. So I'm gonna keep that same clamshell ruler. I'm lining up with my center. I'm going to move my ruler, again keeping that center line right up there. Let me see if I can do just one more in here. Alrighty. So here we go. I'm going to show you. Each one turns out just slightly different, and part of that is my inexperience with the ruler, but I'm really liking how this is starting to come out. It sort of looks like waves. And if this bar, if the bar was in a different position, it would be a little bit easier to continue going on this one. So I'm going to actually move over into another block and figure out what I'm going to do there. So hang tight.